The council chamber of the Vayari Empire shimmered with translucent crystal walls that pulsed faintly with living light. The air carried a faint sweetness, like a field of alien flowers warmed by twin suns. A delegation of humans sat uncomfortably on the smooth, glimmering benches, their boots squeaking faintly against the slick floor. Humanity had fought hard to be here. 50 years ago, they were just another backwater species scratching at the stars with crude rockets. Now, after surviving contact, wars, alliances, and betrayals, they had earned a tenuous place among the galactic powers. But even so, no one expected what happened next. Princess Syrixa, heir to the Vayari throne, rose from her seat. Her shimmering skin refracted light into dozens of subtle colors. Her long, silken head crest flowed like liquid silver down her back. Every movement radiated regality. Her multifaceted eyes swept across the room and landed on one man. The human stiffened when she raised a delicate, claw-tipped finger and pointed directly at him. "I want this human, mother." Gasps echoed throughout the chamber. The humans exchanged nervous glances, whispers flying. The man she had chosen, Elias Cade, shifted uncomfortably. He was no ambassador, no soldier, no scientist. He was a mechanic, a civilian technician attached to the delegation to maintain the landing shuttles and atmospheric processors. He hadn't even spoken during the negotiations. The Empress tilted her crested head, her expression unreadable. "Daughter, explain yourself." Syrixa's voice was soft, but each syllable rang with conviction. "Among all these humans, this one is different. His pattern resonates. His essence calls to me. I choose him." Elias felt dozens of alien eyes, slitted, glowing, or faceted, drill into him. He cleared his throat. Pardon me, Your Highness, but I think there's been some mistake. I'm nobody important." Her luminous gaze locked on him. "You are the one I want. The mechanic among royalty." After the uproar settled, the humans tried to intervene. Ambassadors whispered about protocol, negotiations, and the insult of treating one of their people like a prize. But the Empress only raised a hand, silencing them. "Calm yourselves. My daughter is heir to the throne. Her instincts are guided by the ancestral symbiotes. They do not make mistakes." That was not reassuring to Elias. He found himself whisked away from the delegation and escorted through the palace by tall, armored guards whose organic armor shifted like living stone. The corridors were alive with vines that glowed faintly, casting golden light on carvings that told the story of Vayari conquest and empire. Syrixa walked beside him, graceful and unhurried. "You are confused." "That's putting it lightly," Elias muttered. "Why me? I'm just a mechanic." She tilted her head. "I do not know. The ancestors whisper when they see truth. They whispered your name the moment you entered the hall." He rubbed the back of his neck. "Look, Princess, I'm flattered really, but humans don't work this way. We don't point at someone and decide they belong to us." Her eyes glittered. "Perhaps that is why I like you. You resist." Court intrigue. Within days, rumors spread through the palace and across the empire. The princess had chosen a human consort. Courtiers whispered behind jeweled fans. Rival princes from allied species muttered darkly about insult and dishonor. Some viewed it as a scandal, others as a sign of madness. Elias tried to keep his head down, spending his days tinkering in the palace hangar, repairing shuttles and marveling at Vayari biotech engines. Yet, no matter how he tried to avoid attention, Syrixa always found him. She would sit silently, watching him work, asking strange questions about Earth. Why do humans laugh? Why do you risk death for exploration? Why do you make music even when starving? He answered as best he could, speaking about curiosity, stubbornness, and the messy beauty of being human. She listened intently, her head crest shifting like liquid moonlight, her eyes drinking in every word. But not everyone was pleased. One evening, while he adjusted a plasma conduit, a tall Veari noble approached. His skin shimmered in harsh reds and blacks, a sign of aggression. "You shame the throne, human," the noble hissed. "The princess is destined to bind our empire to allies of power. You are nothing but a dirt breather." Elias wiped grease from his hands. "Then maybe you should take it up with her instead of me." The noble's claws flexed. "If you dishonor us, you will not survive the night." Syrixa appeared silently behind Elias, her presence like a blade drawn in the dark. "Leave him." Her voice was calm, but it carried the weight of command. The noble stiffened, bowed stiffly, and withdrew. Elias exhaled shakily. "Thanks. That guy really didn't like me." "He is jealous," she said simply. "And afraid. They do not understand why I chose you." He looked at her, truly seeing her then, not just the alien beauty, but the loneliness in her posture, the burden of expectation. "Do you understand?" Her voice dropped. "Not fully. But I want to." The trial of the air. Weeks passed, and the tension grew. The Empress finally summoned Elias. "Human," she said, her voice cold as crystal. "My daughter insists on your presence. But the Empire cannot risk weakness. If you are to remain at her side, you must prove yourself worthy." Elias swallowed. "And how do I do that?" "The trial of the air. It is ancient law. Those chosen by royal blood must demonstrate strength, not of body alone, but of spirit." Elias almost laughed. He was no warrior, no champion. He was a grease monkey with calloused hands and a knack for fixing broken engines. But Syrixa's eyes met his, full of quiet faith. "I will face it," Elias said, surprising himself. The trial took place in the heart of the palace, a cavernous chamber filled with living machines and shifting platforms. It was not combat but challenge. Tests of problem-solving, resilience, and courage. One trial forced him to navigate a collapsing labyrinth with no tools but his wits. Another demanded he repair a failing energy core under immense pressure. The final test confronted him with illusions of fear, visions of death, failure, and isolation. Elias stumbled, sweated, and cursed, but he kept moving. Not because he wanted glory, but because quitting wasn't in his nature. At last, battered and exhausted, he emerged from the chamber. The Empress regarded him with unreadable eyes. "You are unremarkable in strength, average in skill, yet you endure. Perhaps that is enough." Syrixa stepped forward, pride shimmering in her gaze. "It is more than enough." The invasion. Before the matter could be settled, disaster struck. A rival empire, the Draxian hegemony, launched a sudden assault, their warships piercing Veari defenses. Explosions rocked the skies, and the palace shook with distant impacts. Amid the chaos, Elias found himself in the hangar, instinctively checking the shuttles. Syrixa appeared at his side, armor gleaming, blade in hand. "The Draxians come for me. If they capture the air, the Empire falls." Elias scanned the hangar. "Then we need to get you out of here." But the shuttles were damaged, power cores unstable from the bombardment. The pilots were dead or missing. The only chance of escape was repairing one on the spot. Elias's hands flew over the conduits, rerouting energy, patching coolant lines, improvising with parts not meant to fit together. Sweat poured down his face as alarms blared.